So before we get into like major marching technique, first things we're going to explain is just some basic positions and terminology that we'll probably be using throughout the season. So the first thing we're going to do is set up just a standard first and second positions that you do in ballet and that we'll be using throughout the season as well. So whenever you're setting up your first position, what we're going to define it as is kind of like splitting the difference between like your feet. So we have 1 yard line right here, and then we have another yard line over here, and we're going to line our right foot up or left foot up on this yard line, or right foot up on this yard line, and this is going to be our first position this season. So you really get into the habit of kind of like figuring out where to split the difference and the direction that your feet are going in and the direction of your legs. So this is our first position. If we specify first position parallel, your feet are just gonna be parallel. So it's heels, toes, everything, hips in the same alignment this way. So that's first position. Second position is the same exact thing. You're just gonna take your left foot, and you're gonna put it, you take your left foot and you're just gonna put it shoulder width apart. So this is a nice second position. You got nice like power stance if you want it, but your energy, everything exactly the same. You still want your feet turned out because of hips. If we ever say second position parallel, that would again just be shoulder width, everything facing front. So we got first position, we got second position. We got first position parallel, we got second position parallel. Right. Now notice whenever I step from first position to second position, I'm always gonna step out with my left foot and I'm always gonna step in with my left foot. That is because in marching band, we do everything first off the left foot. Hey. Okay. So those are the basic positions. So a couple different moves that we're gonna do. So the first one, say we're in first position, I'll just use that as the guide for the rest of these. So the first one is relevé. Relevé in ballet just means to rise. So like we already did the posture breakdown exercise, whenever you come back up, you're staying nice and tall. You're literally just gonna raise your heels up. So you're standing on your toes and back down. That would be a relevé. We will use that in our posture exercise. We may also use it just to find our balance so that when we actually get to marching, like for example, like backward march, we already are comfortable being up on the platform. So that is a relevé, just to rise. Okay, and then plié is in French means to bend, and is literally just to bend your knees. Now, this is really important to go back to the whole posture exercise because the tendency of people is usually to bend down and either stick their butt out or turn their knees in. So you have this nice line from your first position, you have this nice position set up. So you just want your knees to trace the line of your toes. And this is just to avoid your knees ending up like this, which is really bad for your knees, or even like this when you're past your toes and you're sticking your butt out. That's not good either. You just want to naturally follow the line that you already have set up in your feet. So this would be a Demi Plié, which means about half. And then we also have a Grand Plié, which is where you go all the way down and all the way back up. Now the difference between the Demi Plié and the Grand Plié is that your Demi Plié is as low as you can go without your heels coming off the ground. And notice my posture is still straight, my butt is still tucked in. This is about as low as I can go. It's not super low to the ground, it's just a nice natural bend. Grand Plié, you're just gonna hit your Demi Plié and then continue going. And then you're gonna hit your heels back on the ground and come back up. And watch my posture in my butt and my back as I go down and I come back up. Nice, natural, easy. The last one I'm gonna go over is tendu. Tendu in French means to point. So you're literally just pointing your toe in the direction that you're moving. So for example, we may do tendus on croix, which means in a cross, which means there's a front position, a side position, a back position, and another side position. Whenever you do the tendu, we have this nice foot placement setup that I already described earlier. you're just going to take it, your foot, and you're just going to draw a line in the direction that you're going. And notice, I'm going to present, I have my heel already turned out. I'm going to keep it presented to the audience, and I'm just going to draw a line. I'm just going to point towards where I'm going. And notice, my hip is turned out. It's not in like this. My heel is presented to the audience. My shoelaces are pointing this way. So that would be to the front. Tendu to the side is exactly the same, with the heel presented towards the audience, toe or shoelaces up to the sky. Backwards is a little bit tricky. You're still going to keep the same shape that you did here, but you're going to have to go behind you. And the way that you're going to kind of accomplish that is you want to make sure that your supporting leg is sturdy, right? Like just when you're marching, you need to be able to push off this leg when you start going. So you want all the energy kind of in your supporting leg, and you just want to be able to draw a nice shape back. And notice when I do this, my heel is still presented. Like you can see my shoelaces, but I'm still in this same shape. I haven't actually moved anything. So yeah, that would be a tendu. And then if you want to draw all the positions together, this is called a rond de jambe.